Have you ever felt that the woman by your side no longer looks at you with the same respect she once did? One day you'll realize she's there, but her heart isn't, and by then, no matter how hard you try, it might be too late. Sometimes, just the slightest change in her gaze, her smile, or the way she responds to your words is enough to signal that a distance is quietly growing between the two of you. Maybe you didn't notice it. Maybe you thought it was because she was tired, busy, or simply because of age or time. But the truth can be more painful. The truth is, she no longer looks at you with the loving, respectful eyes she once did. And when that happens, it's not just a fleeting moment of indifference. It's a warning sign that cracks are silently forming in the relationship you've worked so hard to build. I remember the story of a 55-year-old man who once came to me sharing his frustration and helplessness. He said, "I don't understand. She used to love me so much. We've been together for nearly 30 years. We've been through so many hardships, so many challenges. And yet now, whenever I look into her eyes, I no longer see the warmth, the affection. Her gaze now feels cold, distant, as if I'm just someone she lives with, not the husband she once loved and was proud of." I stayed silent as he spoke because I knew this wasn't just his story. It's the silent pain of many men out there. Men who still love their wives, who still want to protect their happiness, but are struggling to understand why the love seems to fade. Today, I'm making this video not to add to your worries, but to help you spot the quiet, yet dangerous signs that she may no longer respect you the way she once did. Because if we recognize these signs early enough, we still have a chance to save, to heal, to hold on to what's most precious. But if we overlook them, if we ignore them, one day the distance may have grown too wide, and by then, no matter how hard we try, it'll be so hard to bring things back to how they were. Don't miss this. Stay with me for the next few minutes. What you're about to hear could be the most important thing to help save your relationship. And if you've ever loved a woman, ever longed to protect your happiness, I hope you'll help me spread this message. Give this video a like. Hit subscribe so we can meet again in future meaningful shares, and leave a comment saying, "I'm ready to listen," if you feel connected to what I'm about to share. Your support is what keeps me going, sharing, and standing by your side on this journey to protect your happiness. Now let's begin.
When a woman still respects the man by her side, she always wants him to be the first to know everything. Her joys, her hidden fears, even the dreams she's never shared with anyone else. It's not just about sharing, it's her way of affirming in her heart that you're her solid shoulder, her safest place. A woman who still holds deep respect and love will always turn to you to pour out her heart, to seek your listening ear and understanding. But when she starts falling silent, when she begins to keep those feelings to herself, or worse, turns to someone else to confide in, that's a sign that emotional cracks have begun to form. Silence in a relationship isn't peace. Sometimes it's the biggest distance between two people, one you can't see, but you can surely feel. I'll never forget the story of a man who once sat across from me, his eyes heavy with exhaustion. He shared with deep disappointment, "I don't understand why these days she doesn't tell me anything anymore. Before, she used to tell me every little thing, from what her colleagues did to the dreams she had at night. But now I only hear about things from others or when the kids accidentally mention them." He hesitated, his voice dropping as he added, "I once asked her why she doesn't talk to me anymore. Do you know what she said? She said, 'I don't want to share because you never really listen anyway.'" That sentence cut deep into his heart, and perhaps it was the very thing that made him realize the truth he had unknowingly ignored for so long. I once counseled a man in his late 50s, and I'll never forget the look on his face as he shared what broke his heart. He came home early from work one day, hoping to surprise his wife with dinner. As he stepped through the door, he heard her soft voice, not talking to him, but confiding in another man over the phone. He stood there, frozen, realizing that the words she once saved for him were now meant for someone else. He said to me, "At that moment, it felt like I wasn't her husband anymore. I was just a stranger in my own home." That was the moment he saw, with painful clarity, that the bond he thought was unbreakable had already started to fall apart.
Why does this happen? Why would the woman who once trusted you, leaned on you, saw you as her whole world, now choose silence? There are many reasons, but they all stem from little things we tend not to notice. First, she feels judged when she speaks. Maybe every time she opens up, instead of listening fully, you unconsciously offer judgment, unnecessary advice, or even seem indifferent. That makes her hesitant, afraid that opening up will only bring criticism or coldness. Second, she hasn't truly been listened to. A man in love often listens eagerly in the early years, but as time passes, that attention starts to fade. You might nod along while she talks, but your mind drifts to work, your phone, or other worries. Gradually, she feels like sharing doesn't matter anymore because no one's really listening. And the most dangerous part, when she can't find connection in you, she'll unconsciously seek it elsewhere. At first, it might just be friends or coworkers, but in moments of weakness, that's when someone else might slip in. Not because she wants to betray you, but because she needs someone who understands, who listens, who makes her feel valued. Have you ever seen yourself in this? Have you ever missed those moments when she wanted to share, but you were too busy or distracted? Her silence doesn't mean she has nothing to say. It's not because her life has suddenly become dull or uneventful. It's because you're no longer her safe place, no longer the one she wants to open her heart to. And the saddest part is that when that silence lasts, it doesn't just kill conversations, it slowly erodes the emotional bond between you. That's one of the clearest signs that her respect for you is fading. And if you don't recognize it and act in time, that distance will only grow until one day, even though you're right beside each other, your hearts are miles apart.
When a woman still holds deep respect for her man, every look, every compliment, every small touch from him can bring a genuine, happy smile to her face. It's not just a fleeting joy. It's her quiet way of affirming that she still finds you lovable, admirable, and worth being close to. The way she looks at you is warm, gentle, full of affection. When you hold her hand, she instinctively squeezes back as if to say, "I'm here. I trust you. I want to be near you." But when those tender responses slowly disappear, when her gaze drifts away, when you hold her hand and she no longer squeezes back, when your compliments are met with a forced smile, or worse, silence, that's a red flag. That's when you need to be alert and realize that the respect and closeness she once felt for you are fading. I once spoke with a man in his 60s. He shared with distant eyes, as if he were recalling brighter days and comparing them to the bittersweet reality of now. He said that in the past, whenever he and his wife took a walk, she would always squeeze his hand when he held hers. Sometimes she'd rest her head on his shoulder as they strolled down familiar streets. Just that squeeze of her hand, just that look, was enough to make him feel the love and bond between them. But over the years, those squeezes became rare. He told me that one time, out of habit, he reached for her hand as they walked, but she instinctively pulled it away, as if it were an unnecessary gesture that made her uncomfortable. He said, "At that moment, I suddenly felt cold all over, even though it was a bright spring day. I asked myself, what happened between us? Why does even holding hands feel so strange now?" The reasons behind those reactions usually run deeper than what we see on the surface. First, she no longer feels a strong emotional connection with you. Maybe the pressures of work and life have swept you along, and you've gradually forgotten those moments when you truly listened to her, truly cared and shared with her. Or maybe your conversations now revolve only around bills, chores, and the kids, with no more words of love or heartfelt sharing. When the emotions aren't there anymore, Those once natural gestures of intimacy start to feel forced and hollow. Next, the closeness that used to be a powerful bond has become a shallow habit, no longer carrying the same meaning. The hugs, kisses, and hand-holding that once made her heart flutter have become routine, repetitive acts stripped of feeling. And when a woman senses that emptiness, she starts to pull back, building a protective shell around herself to avoid being hurt. What's most frightening about this sign is how easy it is to overlook. You might reassure yourself that she's just tired, preoccupied with something else, or worried about things unrelated to you. You might think she just didn't feel like being close today, and tomorrow will be different. But the truth is, she's already begun retreating into that cold shell, quietly pushing you out of the emotional space where you once stood at the center. And when that happens, if you don't see it in time, don't try to heal and rekindle the spark, the distance between you will only grow wider. One day, you'll look back and realize that the woman beside you has drifted out of reach, not because she wanted to, but because she no longer saw a reason to stay close. So, if you've ever noticed that her eyes no longer follow you the way they used to, if you've ever felt her hand pull away when you tried to hold it, don't be too quick to comfort yourself that it's just a passing moment. That's a sign telling you it's time to stop, to look deeply into your relationship and ask yourself, have I really done enough to keep her by my side? This isn't the time for blame or for excuses. It's the time to act, to save what you still can before it's too late, because once coldness becomes a habit, warming her heart again will be so much harder. And above all, start now while you still have the chance, because a woman's distance doesn't form in a day, a week. It forms over months and years of feeling lonely right next to the person she once loved most. And you still have time to change that if you truly want to.
If you notice even one of the two signs I've shared, no matter how fleeting it may seem in your daily life, please don't comfort yourself with the thought that things will simply get better over time. Don't assume it's just because she's tired, stressed, or momentarily distracted. The truth is, those signs never just disappear on their own. On the contrary, they quietly grow, like a small crack in the wall of your relationship. And one day, when you finally see it, that crack may have deepened into a rift that's hard to mend. What matters is that you take action, face it, and find a way to change things before it's too late. Because if you keep ignoring it, the distance between you will only widen until all efforts become pointless. So where should you start? I want to suggest 3 simple but powerful first steps to help rekindle her respect and feelings for you. Step 1. Learn to listen without judgment. When she speaks, don't interrupt, don't rush to explain, don't hurry to offer advice. Women don't need you to fix their problems. They need to feel truly heard, to feel that you understand them. Every time she opens up is a chance for you to reconnect that emotional bond that's grown weak. Don't waste that chance. Step 2. Touch her, not out of your own needs, but because you genuinely want to show your love. A quiet handhold when no one's watching, a gentle stroke on her shoulder when she's tired, a tender look when she's not paying attention. These small gestures can warm her heart again. Physical closeness that isn't tied to requests or expectations is your way of saying, I treasure you for who you are, nothing more. And the final step, have the courage to ask, do you still feel that I'm important to you? This isn't a question to accuse or demand a declaration of love. It's a question that opens the door for her to speak honestly, so you can understand what she's feeling, what she needs, and what she hopes for from you. Only by facing the truth can you find the way to change. I want to emphasize that what I've just shared is only the beginning. To truly revive her respect and love for you, you'll need more steadfast, sincere actions done the right way. And that's exactly what I'll be sharing in the next videos. How to inspire her respect again without pleading or lowering yourself. So stay tuned, walk this journey with me so that together we can learn how to nurture and protect the lasting love that every man deserves. Respect is built from small daily acts, a handhold at the right time, a grateful glance. But neglect quietly creates cracks we don't see until it's too late. Love and respect are like a garden. If you don't tend it, it will wither in silence. If this message touches your heart, or if you know a friend who might be facing this silent heartbreak, please share this video. Don't let him face it alone. Give this video a like. Hit subscribe so you won't miss future tips. Comment below, I'm ready to listen. Together, let's protect what truly matters.